Hello, beautiful. Welcome. Toni and I have a special surprise. We are starting a new monthly podcast segment. It's called Beyond Human, Your Metaphysical Roadmap to the Sacred.
Amazing. To the sacred. What does sacred mean? That will be another episode. But in our first
Cool.
episode,
Yeah.
yeah, but in our first
I'm
episode,
noting that right now.
yes,
Sacred. What does
totally.
that mean?
But in our first episode, we're going to talk about the spirit of money, which we all go through and deal with, every single human
Hell
on earth
yes.
or non-human,
Hmm.
and the frequency of manifestation and what manifestation really means and what does frequency mean and what do they mean together. So we're going to really like dialogue from our stories, our teached lessons that we taught each other, the trials and tribulations, the errors and the successes, all of it. And we're gonna
Yes.
share the wisdom to help you have the tools to really lead your life with success, lead your life with power, with pure sovereignty of heart, the sacred.
That
Um,
is the goal. Now, Toni, since we are going to be broadcasting this on each of our platforms, should we take like 30 seconds to sort of just remind everybody who we are and what we do?
yes, perfect.
Go for it.
I'll go. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Toni Ghazi. I'm Lebanese, but I moved to the US when I was 15 years old. I live in Washington, D.C. I'm a realtor. I still sell real estate. Everybody's like, are you still selling real estate? Yes, I am. But also, I awoke when COVID came, knew nothing about spirituality, and my whole world shifted to the point now I have two businesses, like the real estate aspect and this. And I started to, so that's where that little my eyes twitching and stuff. But I awoke spiritually and I began really learning. And I grew up Christian, by the way. That's important, like to know that I grew up in a religious-ish household and
Mm.
teachings, and all that shifted when I really found my heart and then like found myself, and I began channeling like beings, specifically the praying mantis being, insectoid beings. I know it sounds cuckoo. I know it sounds crazy. Don't worry about the insectoid aspect of it. Just say spiritual beings because they're all spirits.
Roll with it, babe.
We're all
Yeah.
energies. But in case it's like, I don't know what insectoids are, that's crazy. Forget about that. Don't get lost in those little words. All of it is the same thing. And
Focus.
I began
Yeah.
really on this path of rediscovering myself, who I am, what my identity is. I had UFO ships over my house. They still come. I can call them in. Crazy. I have fairies. I do events all over the US now. I speak on stage. A lot of crazy stuff. So small little snippet of what I do. I channel. I go unconscious, like so. I close my eyes and I'm gone, and I like bring like the energies through. They can answer questions for you. They talk about all kinds of things, and that's the short of it. I also do executive coaching just quickly, right? So I have the woo-woo side of me and I have the non-woo-woo side of me, like the corporate world, where I like talk to CEOs and like managers, and anybody who is like leading like a team of sort to begin helping them see like their company and like their corporation as an organism, as a live frequency, and how you with self, you work on the self, you begin to work on the frequency of like such a corporation to achieve whatever results that like you want to achieve together as collaboration, as celebration of each other. Yeah, and we'll delve deeper into other episodes about that aspect of things, but that's a little shorter for me and my queen
Yes.
Iena.
Thank you, babysies. Babysies? Babysies.
Totally,
Okay. I'm
totally.
just going to roll with that shit, you guys. Okay. Hey, everybody. My name's Iena SpiritWalker, and I am an internationally known, just like Toni, psychic, healer, and transformational life coach. I've been doing this 27 years. I'm so excited. And just sounds like Toni, too, as my life shifts, my gifts and my calling and my offerings shift as well. Currently, I'm doing a few things, helping female spiritual entrepreneurs heal what is holding them back and talk to their soul aligned clients, bring in that multi six-figure income, which totally ties in with what we're talking about. Hell yes, what we're talking about today. I also work privately with men who are financially successful and feeling disconnected and unsatisfied. And it really is about the balance, right, Toni? We were talking about the balance and how everything comes together. And the interwoven message through all of this really is connecting with the spirit of money, what that means, and how it brings us all together. And that's why we're here today. I'm so excited to be here with you, Tony.
Thank you, my love. Thank you, thank you. And we're very excited that that like you guys are here. And I always say it's very important for you to know as like the viewer that your ingredients, your energy, whenever you watch this, is actually co-creating what's going to happen now. Like there is no future and past. And we're going to have episodes about parallel realities and dimensions and densities and crazy shit and crazy like woo-woo stuff. But I just want to take a moment to thank you in advance for your energies, because it's like baking a cake where you have all these like ingredients that are together that create an amazing like dish. Your ingredients, your intentions are also being infused in what's being like co-created now. So I honor you fully for opening your heart. And every time you're triggered, my loves, and I'm gonna say loves with an S for everyone, every time you're triggered, we're gonna have an episode actually looking on triggers. Triggers are amazing ascended masters. They are keys to unlock, to release, and free yourself. Don't be afraid of triggers. If I said anything that triggers you, sit with it for a moment. Why am I being triggered? We'll talk about that in another episode. A lot to talk
I,
about.
yes, yes, hell yes. I was just having a conversation with someone about that today. They're the little nudges from your soul saying this needs to be healed. This is uncomfortable because I need to heal it. I love that. Yes. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Let's talk about the energy of money. Do you want to get started, Tony, or
I can, if you're okay with that, but if you have something to say, because
you can?
I'm happy.
Okay. All right. I'll jump in.
Yeah. I felt that she needed like this was her thing, so I'm honoring fully. So thank you.
You can see, guys, we have no script. We have a guideline and we're allowing the energy and the information to come through. And we're so grateful that you're here. So it's so interesting that the spirit of money, humanity, we really have this mental picture of her as this physical separation of us. And really, the spirit of money has been around since humanity has been existed. It hasn't always been quote unquote money. Money really is, if you step back from it and think about this, this is the connection to all human beings. This is being of service and this is receiving something. So even if we think about when people simply did trades to support one another, to support the tribe, those are connections with other human beings. And now that we have the internet and all that stuff, that is different. However, money always comes from other human beings. And it is always a reminder to us to be of service and also give, right? If we marinate on that for a second, let's think about how the spirit of money, this beautiful feminine energy, flows through all of us and connects all of us. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. This is awesome. She connects all of us and she's speaking to us all the time and flowing through us all the time. And what happens is that we have this fear and worry and doubt around money, and we are often inclined to give, be of service, but to not receive or not take money in. Yes. And energy, Tony and I are already talking about what balance is. We have to have a balance. You have to have a price that's equal to the magic that you are offering, no matter what it is. It could be, a car that's going to help you and your family get to and from places safely. It could be coaching service. It could be anything. It's service. And I'm here to remind you, and I'm sure Tony will back me up on this, that when we are just giving and not receiving, that's imbalance essentially. There's nothing noble about that. You are creating an imbalance in your life, and when we find balance, the money flows back to us. Does it make sense, Tony?
It totally does. I just don't want to interrupt you because I feel you in your flow. So
Go,
instead of being
babe, go.
quiet, because when you're in your flow, it's beautiful. When spirits are speaking, you feel the vibration, and none that you don't want to interrupt. There's no interruption, but it's beautiful to witness and allow spirit to end when it's meant to end. Thank you so much for explaining that, and that's a beautiful way in what we call the three-dimensional wave, explaining it. Because listen, my story, I grew up in poverty. I grew up in lack. Like my dad and like my parents always struggled with money. There was not enough. There was never enough. He couldn't save. And those were things that embedded in my mind that I kind of jumping over that like my life. So like the way that I speak, like going forward, like in a sense, is what I'm going through, I'm going to share with you. So I grew up in lack and all these definitions that were embedded in the back of your mind, these operating systems that you don't even know exist anymore. You don't even know that they're running your life. You have no idea, but you're wondering, why in the hell am I not like, accessing money or like making money and I'm doing all the right things and you watch this TikTok and this YouTube, blah, 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 and do this and do that and say, I'm grateful. I don't know what else, all these tools that sometimes work, but they don't work at the capacity and at the real like intensity as what you desire. And why isn't it like working? It's because there's still that program in like the back of your mind. And like what I always let's say, speaking of self, is I was a parrot for a while. Like you know how parrots just regurgitate things? I was regurgitating things and not feeling the energy, not feeling the frequency, and we'll get to that like in like a moment. There's a big difference when you're just like parroting an idea while in the background, unknown to you, hidden in the shadows, as an operating system that's speaking against or the opposite of what you're saying. So no wonder you're seeing like some trickles of money. It's working one day, the next day it's not working. It's not. So there are tricks and tools where it's a balance also of the light and the shadow. That's another episode, like by the way. So everything is in balance like to each other. And I, for the longest time, gave, because I was taught you give, you're a good person, you keep for yourself, you're selfish and you're bad. So I'm learning these days to save for myself. And I've given a lot of money, millions of dollars. It's crazy. I should be a trillionaire right now if I didn't. But anyhow, my life story, all of the lessons that I'm learning. And I also realized that the reason that I was giving, and that's another episode, my love, if you want to write that down, and I'm writing a book, like by the way, about this, is I have been giving money to buy my love unconsciously. Because like somehow like within my field, like within my operating system, as I was growing up, I didn't feel like worthy enough and I didn't feel that like I was loving to myself enough that the act of giving and the act of being there for people and like paying for dinners and gifts and I don't know what else and being there and assisting and helping each other, when I would receive like love back unconsciously, it really fed that aspect of me that felt unloved. So there's balances in many shades and in many layers within the idea of money. It's not just you sit there and say it's not just one tool. It's actually like several tools that truly is like designed to dig deeper into yourself because all of it emanates from self. Who are we? We say I'm the creator. Well, if my creatorship is operating at 25% because I've buried like 75% of it, have no idea, then no, of course the results are not at 100%. So along the path as you get to know us, and I feel like the money thing should be like 5 or 6 or 7 episodes. Who knows? We'll see. Like
It
series,
probably will be.
I know series 1 of 10,
Well,
because it's more than just one tool. It's like looking at your whole like life through the aspect in lens of all of these like whispers that oftentimes we don't hear them because we're so clouded by noise. We're so clouded by what the next person is doing, the comparing. Like, look at them, like, look at this, da da da. That you're not hearing the whispers that have always been there. And and look, money wants you to have everything that you want to have. It's there for the taking, and I'm learning that now. It's there for everyone, and it's a frequency, and we'll get to that in our next kind of dialogue here. So I hope this is like shedding a little bit of light on the aspect of what money is. But I love like what you said, the spirit of money and seeing the aspect of money as a spiritual being. What a beautiful way of seeing it. Because oftentimes, at least for me, when I hear about money, it's this object thing, this like dollar, this $100 bill, or this coin. It is separate than us. It's something we have to attain and achieve and reach and find. And where is the tree of money? But when you begin to see it from a spiritual being and a really sacred being, then your relationship begin to shift and you begin to see it from a very different way and you begin to have a relationship with it. That's another episode, by the way. Relationship with money. Like,
doesn't that also allow us to love money? Because when we look at money as an object, right? There's also, and this is a lot of connotations with the societal stuff too,
Yeah.
that we're not allowed to love money. But if we can view money and remember that money is this beautiful spirit that is interwoven within all of humanity and ultimately is here to help elevate humanity, that's fucking amazing. Yes, I love that. I love that. It's like a lot of people are very connected to the angels. I love the angels.
Yes.
Let's love the spirit of money.
Totally.
Let's love the spirit of money. And I love what you're saying too, Tony, because it is so prevalent. I love that I'm going to say a word that triggers Tony. We're all spiritual beings in a meat sack. And maybe he's cringing. And we also have this operating system that Tony was referencing, right? These subconscious programmed thoughts. And really, the key is learning how to work with all three of those and combining them together, mind, body, spirit. That's the important. And I think a lot of this, Tony was talking about, implementing one thing that you find on TikTok, I did the gratitude thing, it never worked, or I did this. What if you dive into healing that energy, dive into reprogramming the subconscious shit that's running around in your mind that's saying that you should not love money and you don't deserve money, and also that money's limited because spirit is infinite, you are infinite, and so is money.
Totally. Amazing.
And the body part, let me dive into that for a second. So, the things that make our energy so juicy for money to come back to us is happiness and love, right? So if we go back to how the spirit of money is here to help humanity elevate, and we need balance, and we're here to serve, but guess what? We're here to have a great fucking time. We're here to have enjoyment. We're here to laugh. We're here to love. And if we're not doing that, we're missing out. And when you dive into that, like, think about where you are right now. If you're struggling with money, how much fun are you having every day? How much fun are you having every day? If you're not having fun, guess what? You're missing the fuel. This is the fire for your life. And this is what brightens your capacity to bring in more money because you were designed to enjoy this journey. Balance. Yes, baby. Let's do it.
Love, 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 love what you said. Love. I mean, this is amazing. And and look, we can all sit here and like learn these tools and regurgitate them. But you have to also go back to the self. There is actual self work where you have to dig deep into memories, where you have to sit there and have a life review and try to remember what you can remember. And like, of course, memories like will surface like when they want to surface, and like one memory will like trigger like another one next month, next year, or whatever. Because really, who is operating all this? It's you, it's the self. But oftentimes we don't know ourselves. We think we know ourselves. We build identities based on traumas and dramas and things we witnessed and fears, where we begin to live in this new way of who we are as like this identity from that operating system that is based on fear and the traumas and like the dramas and all of the insecurities, but not from the creatorship essence of who we are. So as we dialogue and as we speak, as we ride this path like together to like figure this out, there's going to be a lot of self-work, a lot of digging, and you get to do the digging. You get to find out the answers like for yourself. I don't know what happened in your life, and an idea of it, the sovereignty of you having the power and the awareness that I can dig, grab the shovel and begin digging to uncover like parts of myself that are waiting to be seen by you, that are creator aspect. And from that frequency of like knowing thyself as the creator, you begin to create anything you desire, one of which, is money, and begin to have a relationship, and a real relationship, like the same way that you date a boyfriend or like a girlfriend and have a wife. Literally, wake up every morning and have coffee with money. Like say, good morning, money. How are you today? Do you need anything from me? Literally, that's another episode. Literal relationship. Because those little things, those little tricks will begin to change your mind about money, and you begin to see it as an actual live being versus an object that we're trying to manifest. The word manifest, that's another thing. The fact we say the word manifest means we don't believe we are. The word manifestation should be taken out of the spirituality world, because really manifesting already says, when I say I want to manifest something, there's already a built-in system that I says I cannot manifest. That's why I'm even uttering the word like manifest. We'll dive into that, like so there's layers and layers and layers where we help restructure this the self and remember. But having a relationship like with money, really say like good night money, and having a romantic relationship with money, that's another one. I tried recently and it worked. I swear to you,
Yes.
it freaking works.
Yes.
Having a
Hell
romance,
yes.
that should be like after hours, like romance relationship with money.
The Twilight
The
episode.
Twilight episode, I swear to God, it does work, because you
Yeah.
are recognizing, like you said, the spirit as being a being and being part of you and having access to it whenever you desire, not something you're trying to reach that is so far away from you.
Yeah, I love that. And it is so important. And I'll share a quick story about some of the work. So, and often, especially with money, I will say that in my experience right now, a lot of people are reevaluating their relationship with money. And the reason is because everything is crashing, meaning their bank accounts are drying up, the clients aren't coming, whatever it is, they lost their job. And it is because the spirit of money is requiring you to make that relationship with her. It is time to shift the way we connect with her. I will say that. Okay, so for me, and this is in reference to doing the work and seeing the pattern so that you can heal it. For me, I had this actually it was several years where I had people that were they would sign up for a high ticket program or coaching or whatever, and then they would like freak out, like, oh my gosh, and they would want their money back. And it happened several times. And I worked with a couple coaches and they're like, I've never heard of this before. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. This is so weird. And then it happened again, and then I got the aha. I was like, holy shit! It just all started flooding into me, and I realized at that moment I was able to step back enough to see my childhood people. That's usually where the shit is, childhood, right? My father worked 5 jobs. There were several times that the main jobs that he had went bankrupt, filed Chapter 11, everything was taken away several times. I was in college, going to the only college, I was in art school, by the way. There was one college I wanted to go to, which doesn't exist anymore. It was Tyler School of Art because they had a study abroad in Rome program. That's what I wanted. That's the only one I applied to, and I got it. It was 2 semesters away from into that year. My father's company filed Chapter 11, and I got pulled out of school. There were many, when I looked at that, I was like, holy shit. So this is the pattern, you guys. Like, everything's going great and it got pulled away from me. Everything's going great and it got pulled away from me. And this is the moment where we step out of being a victim and step into, I am healing this shit. I'm going to heal this for myself. I'm going to heal this for my ancestors. I'm going to heal this for my children, for my family, for everyone around me. This stops with me. And when you can recognize that, oh, I'm getting goosebumps, you guys. When you recognize that, everything changes. And once I did that, I was prompted to shift everything. I took I call it an energetic audit. So I was like, what am I spending my energy on? Is it really bringing me in money? And am I getting paid well enough for it? And I looked at those things, and I had previously, I'm just going to give you numbers, you guys, just to solidify things. Hopefully it doesn't trigger you too much, but we're talking about money, babe. This is the shit, right? At that time, I was charging $350 for a session, which is fairly high in my profession. I've been doing it 27 years. I knew I was worth it, but I decided that's not enough for me. I want to charge $5,000 a month for a minimum of 6 months, and I will only work with people who will commit to work for 6 months with me, because that's where deep transformation happens. And once I healed that and made that decision, I am not kidding you. I got a text from an old client. She was like, "Hey," she worked with me for 2 years previous when I was, I'm sorry, 6 months previous, when I had the 350 fee. And I had a conversation with her, and I was like, "I'm available, but my prices are a lot different now." And I laid it out for her, and it was the first time I ever uttered $5,000 a month for a minimum of 6 months, and you get one session per week. You know what her response was, Tony? She said, "That's cool. And if I want to see you more than once a week, can I pay extra?" I was like, "I can arrange that."
Yeah.
That shit happens, you guys. When you embody it, like Tony was saying, when you embody your worth, the universe takes note.
Yes. But embodying the worth takes, you need to be committed to yourself. Like you said, like the healing aspect, because that's where the frequency is. Because
Yeah.
oftentimes we are operating on a frequency that is predetermined by those programs that are hidden. And the regurgitation, like a parrot, is a much, in a sense, weaker frequency, I could say, the best way like to describe it. It's not strong enough to override what's been the old operating system that has been driving us all since we were kids. Like, and it takes guts to want to face those aspects of you. And like some of them you don't
Mhm.
remember. Like I grew up in the war and I completely forgot that I grew up in the war because I had suppressed memory that just resurfaced about 2.5 weeks ago. So I grew up in the Lebanese Civil War. And anyhow, that's like another story. So it really begins with you, and it begins with beginning seeing yourself not as the victim of money or the victim of bad luck or the victim of this is not happening to me, the victim of. Every time something bad happens, there is no bad like within like the eyes of creation, but I'm going to say like the word bad because we understand what that means. A thing that you don't favor happens, beautiful ticket to stand on your own stage and say, you know what? Let me dig deeper and let me heal and integrate that part of me so I'll never repeat that pattern again. The unconscious pattern. Like every time something unfavorable happens to you, that is your winning ticket to freedom. But we're not taught to see those like moments that we don't favor as a ticket to freedom. We're conditioned by society and marketing and who knows what else to feel worse and bad. And why is this happening to me? Why isn't this working? In the victimhood mentality. So getting out of the victimhood like mentality is the number one, in a sense, key to begin to re-empower yourself and remember, put the pieces back together to self, because we have shattered ourselves into many pieces, literally, through many things. God, this can go on for like 5 years, layer after layer after
No,
layer. Seriously, maybe
I
we
know.
should
I'm
change the name of the
thinking
podcast only about money for the next 5 years, because literally it's layering and because
it really is.
everything's interconnected, guys. It's not one thing about money. It's many interwoven things that are all playing out together. This whole like scenario in frequency, and it takes one moment for you to prove to yourself. And also, like fear plays a huge factor because oftentimes to decide you're not a victim when you've played out the victim role for so many years unconsciously, it takes guts and strength and real courage to step into the what seems to be the unknown, but that unknown is really you, the creative power that you've never stepped into before. And or like perhaps you've stepped into it when like we were kids, when we were real young and we were unlimited and like your mom didn't scold you because you did this, or you didn't spill like something on the floor, or you didn't like all the scolding that we've like gotten over the years is limitation of self, you know. Or even when if like you went to school and like you got bullied or like you made fun of one comment, limitation of self. So it goes deeper and deeper and deeper into reconstructing yourself, and then you begin to change the frequency. But it takes 1 second for you, one moment for you to prove to yourself how that works, and you become hungry. That will be the fuel of your rocket ship. Like I am so obsessed with going deep into myself and uncovering all those because now I know myself is the power. Myself is the sovereignty. Myself is the create, like is the engine of creation. Like I want to go in and see where are these like all these gunks and fears and traumas And I'm going to heal all of them so I can remember myself and be at the frequency of creatorship. And in that moment, you don't even have to think. Money won't even become a thing anymore because it's part of your, it just happens automatically. It just does. And everything else that's good in your life. So there's a lot to talk about.
There is. I love that we're doing this once a month because there's so many nuggets. And I know we need to wrap up, Tony, and I think would you say we've covered the frequency of money? I would say I can say in one sentence, the frequency of money is love and happiness.
Yes. I will say for me, I'm not very good with one or two words, but I'll do my best. The frequency of money is really begin to identify yourself as an antenna of creation. When you identify yourself as a broken antenna, no wonder like money is flowing to the degree that you want. But when you begin to reconstruct yourself and remember really that you are this powerful antenna of creation, then it's a powerful magnetic frequency of everything. And oftentimes we have to go beyond the words, right? It's not just words of money, it's how you feel, the feelings that are involved with the idea of money, of receiving money, of creating money, of loving money. I had a hard time even saying I love money because I was so brainwashed when I was a child. Loving money is evil. It's evil. You know what I mean? Or bad or whatever. Like you can put any other description. I literally had a hard time saying I love money to the point that I literally, are we allowed to say the S word, SEX?
Fuck yeah.
I had sex with money in my mind. I swear to God, I swear to God, because I wanted to shift my mind what money is from like a being and like when I say like sex, I had an intimate relationship with it, right? It's not like we were doing the sexual stuff. It has I have organs, but she doesn't, or he doesn't, whatever.
Right on, right on.
You know what I mean? But it's the intimacy, and it took some practice to feel comfortable in the uncomfortable. And the week
Mhm.
after, like something magical happened, literally, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Literally.
reminds me of Bruce Lipton's book, The Honeymoon Effect. He's talking about how, when you first get together, it's all hunky-dory and everything's beautiful and magical things happen in that space, in that energy field.
Yes.
So I love this, Tony. And I have so many damn notes for so many more episodes already. I'm excited. You guys have been watching Beyond Human, your metaphysical roadmap to the sacred. We are going to be posting these every Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every month. The contact information for both of us will be in the show notes wherever you are watching or listening, my friend. And let us know. First, make sure you subscribe, like, share the hell out of it. Tony, any last words, babe?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you have any other future topics that you want us to talk about, please share. We're happy to do it. And if this goes well, which of course is going to go well, it's not if it's go well. We may increase it to twice a month if like we have so much to share that we don't feel it's right for humanity to wait another month to hear. I know you see their notes. Like we may do it twice a month, you know what I mean? Like we'll pre-record these and like so you can receive those tools, so you can begin doing the work. And of course, contact us so if you want to work one-on-one, all these other things. Anyhow, we love you unconditionally. Don't ever forget that you are not alone and you're never, ever, 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 ever a victim. Ever. And create
Tits up, babe. You got this.
that. And creation always loves you. And creation is always there at your beckoning to honor you. But it begins with honoring yourself.
Do it. All right, my love.
All right. Love you guys. See you next month.